Good morning, Yankees universe. KOD Nation, stand up, and you degenerates, so wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to this Wednesday, August 10th edition of the Yankees Morning Brew. Now, if you're like me, then that means you stood up to about 2-something in the morning watching the Yankees lose in extra innings. I want to give a quick shout out to my guy, Michael Mazza, the 4-Train Express. 4-Train Express is always the first one to pop up in the chat, so I always got to salute my guy, Mazza. Good morning, brother. Salute. Tough loss last night, but we cannot blame Cole. He pitched exceptionally well last night on a nice bounce-back start. Absolutely. My man Keith, I'm just here for the Garrett Cole slander. There should be no Garrett Cole slander today because our guy, Pots and Pans, Garrett Cole, showed up, gave us 7 shutout innings, no walks. Fantastic. Good morning, Keith. Hope all is well, brother. Hope all is well. Just here trying to wake up because I stood up to about 2:30 in the morning. Jigga Man as well stood up to about like 6-7 in the morning doing graphics because that man is a bit nuts. But shout out to the chat. There he is right there. How you doing, Jigga Man? Yes. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody that's watching, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on Twitch, whether you're watching on Twitter, whether you're one of my followers on Instagram and can only hear me talk on Instagram, don't know what I'm doing on the computer, but I am here to help digest what happened last night because it was several things that happened. First and foremost, like I said, shout out to Garrett Cole. Shout out my man, Ralphie Diaz. If you guys aren't following Ralphie Diaz, please follow Ralphie Diaz. He is one of those Nick content creators that I love to talk about. Ralphie is probably one of the first ones. No, Ralphie was on the first stream I ever jumped on Blunders 10. So Ralphie, salute. Glad to see you. No, he didn't. No, he did not sleep any. He did not sleep any at all. It was a tough night for us. Like I was literally up to like 3-something in the morning trying to get ready for the show, trying to figure out what happened on the base paths because the base paths were different. The running of the base paths was different. Like it was very different. I got a few people. Matter of fact, let me just play it. Let's go to the tape because we have a video from my paid sponsors from what happened last night. HQ, play the tape. Yes, sir.
All right, Yankees. After last night, it looks like you guys might need to go back to the basics on how to actually run the bases. All I heard was the circus music going. So it's simple. Listen, there's home plate, right? That's where you start. Then there's first. There's second. And then there's third. There's 3 bases. And then you run back home, right? Simple steps. 1, 2, 3, and then home. All right. So listen, when you're at the plate and you hit the ball, you run to first base, right? If you're on base and someone hits and you're at second and you're waiting to see what happens, you don't do a shimmy. Wait a minute, if there's a line drive. What are you doing there, Duhar? Should I go down the list of names? Donaldson, Benintendi? What are you guys doing? It was ridiculous. So enjoy this video here of how to actually run the bases. You hit, you run. You hit, you run. You're on base, you wait. You double steal, you wait till the pitcher is in motion to throw the ball. You don't wait till he's looking around and throw. All right, you know what, Hector? Back to you. Enjoy the basics. Get it together, Yankees.
I can't say it any better. Thank you to our paid sponsors for that video because it was a PSA on how to run the bases. Michael Mazza said, several missed opportunities. Absolutely. Starting off in the 10th with Andrew Benintendi getting thrown out trying to stretch it to third. So now instead of having a runner on first and second with nobody out, we had a runner only on second with run out. We missed that opportunity right there in the 10th. Then in the 11th, we missed an opportunity. Then in the 12th, and then in the 13th, literally 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th inning, just bad base running. Just bad base running, whether it's Miguel Andujar going and then freezing like a deer in headlights, whether it's Jose Trevino, whether it's IKF trying to stretch that single going from first to second when Trevino's getting caught at third base. It all took away any momentum the Yankees hitters had. And credit to the bullpen, credit to Scott Efros, credit to Jose Trevino, credit to, Aroldis Chapman, Clay Holmes. I know he's been struggling lately, but credit to Clay Holmes, credit to Wandy Peralta. Everybody who came out of that bullpen besides Jonathan Lasagna, everyone who came out of that bullpen was money last night. Aroldis Chapman, money. Clay Holmes, yes, he gave up a hit, but he was still money. Wandy Peralta, money. Efros, money. Trevino, money. Now, yes, we lost. And it was an embarrassing loss. Base running. It was basically like if you ever have one of your friends play you an MLB The Show and they never played baseball ever in their life. Keith, it's like when Greggy plays the show. He doesn't play baseball. And he doesn't know how to hit the controller buttons for sending the base. That's what it looked like. It looked like a bad game of MLB The Show. It literally looked like my niece and my nephew was playing MLB The Show last night because the base running was horrible. And that's the crazy thing about it. Recently, it's been struggling, but for most part, for this entire season, it's been an A or A plus when it comes to the base running. In one second. Yeah. So it's been a bit struggling to see that. Let's check the chat real quick. With Chapman getting back to form, it's time for Booney. This about the cold closers. It's time for Booney to address this about the close. Yeah, going forward, it's going to be tough, but it's something that I would love to have. Whether it's Chapman or whether it's Clay Holmes, it seems like Clay Holmes is starting to shape back into form, and Aroldis Chapman as well. Credit to Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman was throwing his split finger fastball majority of the time last night. In the entire inning, I think he threw his slider, I think twice, if I'm not mistaken. Once, 1, 2, 3 times in that inning. Not that many sliders being thrown for Chapman, more splitters than anything. He didn't get any strikeouts, but he got the outs when he needed to get the outs, right? And I agree, Mazza. It should be closer by committee until they figure out the closer situation. Yes. And shout out to my guy Hillel from Backstage Sports, Backstage Baseball. I did a video with him the other day. It should be coming out later this week on his channel. And we talked about that specifically. We talked about the Yankees and having a closer by committee role, right? Because what we're seeing right now is you have Clay Holmes who's struggling. Seems like he's getting it back together. Aroldis Chapman, who was struggling early in the season, seems like he's getting it back together. We got Ron Marinaccio, who's in the minor leagues, who should be coming up within the next 10 days, within the next week or so. As long as this bullpen can get back to what it was at the beginning of the year, what made it so good, then we should be good for the rest of the year. If our starting pitching could replicate what Garrett Cole did last night, if Frankie Montas can come out and give us a start that we expect from Frankie Montas in his next start out, watch out. This Yankee team may be dangerous. Toronto lost again to the Baltimore Orioles. Got to be careful for those Baltimore Orioles. They're creeping up. They're right outside the third wild card. Toronto's been losing. Tampa's been losing. Boston non-existent in this division. So yeah, the Yankees have been struggling, but our lead in the division is still double digits. Right? Like I was talking to Michael Caputo yesterday, and I told him, if anybody watched the afternoon show, we had a special afternoon show yesterday. But I was telling Michael Caputo, listen, if I would lead in the division, right, windows down from 9.5, 10 games, and it goes all the way to 3 or 4 games within the next 2 or 3 weeks, all that means is that this Yankees team had played a 2-week stretch of worse baseball than we've seen coming out the All-Star break, or we've seen in these past 30 games. And I have enough faith that this Yankee team going forward will play better than this past 30-game stretch. So we have a 10-game lead in the division. We should be good. One thing that's of note, that's a bit upsetting, I hope you Yankee fans can feel it, is that the New York Mets have a better record than the New York Yankees. Yeah, I said it. August 10th, 11:11 a.m., I'm complaining as a Yankee fan that the New York Mets have a better record than the New York Yankees. Oh, yeah, I said it. Yeah, I'm complaining about that. You know, the Yankees, they play later on today, 4 in the afternoon in Seattle, a day game in Seattle. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Cons, I see you on IG. Salute. But yeah, my man Michael Mazza said, crazy thought, but why not let Trevino close? That's what he did in Oakland after Hendricks pulled to the wind and pulled and headed to the Windy City to play for the White Sox. Yeah, that could be that could be an opportunity as well, a possibility, I should say. But going forward, when you look at our arms, whether it's Clay Holmes, whether it's Aroldis Chapman, whether it's Ron Mariachio when he comes up, or whether it's Lou Trevino, we got 4 guys. 3, I should say. Let's remove Ron Mariachio because he's still a rookie. So we got 3 guys with closer capability. We got Trevino, Chapman, and Clay Holmes. All 3 have been experienced at closing. Clay Holmes this year, Lou Trevino with Oakland, and Aroldis Chapman from years past with the Yankees. Shout out to my guy, Frederick. Salute, salute, salute. Hope all is well, Frederick. Hope all is well. And my man keeps, I think he's speaking from the heart like the rest of the Yankee fan. F the Mets and that weak-ass NL East division. Yeah, because if the Baltimore Orioles were in that division, they'll be competing for a top spot. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. But we got a video to play, and then we'll be right back with my man Frankie Two Tones. But guys, hold on. We'll be right back.
There it is. How are you?
I'm good, baby. There you are. There you are, bro.
I am. Right here.
How was tea time? How was tea
Good.
time?
Tough day at the range. I shot we played 9. I shot a 71.
Okay. I have no idea what that means, but I'll take your word on it if it's good or bad. So
it's like it's mediocre. It's mediocre.
Okay. What's your one thing I know to ask? What's your handicap? I know that's one thing to ask. What's your handicap?
I play on the normal. I don't go on the handicap. I just play.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then another thing, I have no idea what that means either, but I heard it one time on a golf show, and I figured let me ask my man Frankie.
Yeah. I'm not too good, but it's fun. Yeah. But we just go out once in a while.
But Frankie, now that you're back, right? The Yankees, we won one game in Seattle. And then last night we were up to 2-3 in the morning. Give me your thoughts from last night's game, bro. And give me your thoughts from the other day that we won in San Francisco. Overall, give me your thoughts from Tyone and Garrett Cole.
The other night, Tyone really pitched well. I mean, it was a good sign for Tyone because he's been bad recently. Seven innings and 3 runs is a pretty good start. So I'm happy he was able to kind of find it a little bit. So no, Keith, I think I parred once, Keith, on 9 holes. I was on a par 3. I usually sit about 2 or 3 other.
Yeah, Jigga, man, we gotta fix up that graphic at the end, change it from 43 to 44. But yeah, Keith is funny. But Garrett Cole yesterday, 7 shutout innings.
Yeah,
bro.
Really well. So
another
good bounce back for him because against the same team, he gave up 6 runs in that first inning.
Yeah.
So it was good to see him bounce back.
A big contrast when you look at this start compared to the last start.
Yeah.
No Kyle Higashioka behind the plate for Garrett Cole. And Garrett Cole looked filthy with no Higashioka.
That's really what I think it is now with him.
Yeah, because
Higashioka was always like his guy to pitch to. But now I think Trevino's kind of taken over that and kind of proving that he's a lot better of a catcher than Higgy is.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the same thing because I was going to point back, Frankie. If you remember at the beginning of the season, when Garrett Cole was struggling horribly his first 3 starts, the one thing that was constant in those 3 starts was Kyle Higashioka behind the mound, behind the plate. As soon as they switched to Jose Trevino to catching Garrett Cole, his numbers have been different. His ERA is 2.70. He's lasting 7-8 innings. So I think it needs to be Jose Trevino going down the stretch, especially in the playoffs.
For sure. Yeah, Higgy can't hit in the playoffs. Like I don't want him in the lineup in the playoffs. He can't be in a playoff lineup. So
and especially now with the new playoff lineup, because of the CBA, whatever, you have more off days. So there should be, Jose Trevino will get his rest. And like you said, I do not want to see Kyle Higashioka in a lineup in the postseason unless it's an emergency, knock on wood.
He can't. I was expecting a lot more. I think we all were expecting a lot more to him, especially after the spring training he had. You know, expecting a lot. I think he had more home runs in spring training than he's going to finish with the whole year.
He was he turned into Barry Bonds in spring training, and during the season he turned into IKF.
Yeah, literally. Literally. He's Higgy, he was a lot better as a backup. I think he's a lot better of a backup catcher than he is a starter. Like he's just not a starting caliber guy.
Yeah. I think that's his role, and going forward, that's the role that he needs to have in his career. Just imagine this, Frankie. If the Yankees never got Jose Trevino and we started the season with Kyle Higashioka and us waiting for Ben Rohrbach to come back from injury, how worse off would this team have been?
So much worse. We wouldn't have 70 wins right now. We would probably have I think we might have 60. We might have 10 less wins.
Yeah, 55 or 60 at least, easily with Jose Trevino behind there.
Yeah. He's I like to say he kind of meets in the middle. You get the best of both worlds from Higgy and Sanchez because you get the solid offense and then you get the good defense. So I just don't know what more you want from a starting catcher. He does everything well. So
yeah,
I'm really pleased with the way Trevino's played. So thank God Brian Cashman made that move because
same. Those one of the moves that you just got to tip your hat off to Brian Cashman. Yeah. That's a move that if you're looking at Brian Cashman's resume, that's a move that I will highlight from Brian Cashman. Honestly,
for sure.
Let's see. Michael Mazza said Trevino is definitely an upgrade over him. Absolutely, man. Listen, this is not this is me and Frankie didn't decide we're going to beat up on Kyle Higashioka. We're just being honest. The same way we was being honest with Aaron Hicks, the same way we was being honest with Joey Gallo. If you aren't performing, we're going to critique you. You're going to get called out.
Yeah.
Will we go above and beyond to be disrespectful and beat you up? Absolutely not. No way, Jose.
But yeah,
no way.
Higgy, man.
Yeah, one thing we're not gonna pull a Michael K. That's what we're not gonna do.
That we had talked about. Yeah, that was messed up, man. I was like, you're kicking a dog while it's down, man. Like, come on.
Because Frankie, we've covered Joey Gallo's struggle on this channel, right? When you look at his struggle, that I've spoken about this. I'm not going to be too long-winded with it, but at any time during his struggles, did he ever blame the fans?
No, he blamed himself. And Michael Kay is usually a professional guy, but
Mhm.
but what he said, that was one of the most unprofessional things said by a commentator that I've ever heard. It was just
Mhm.
disrespectful. It was
Yeah.
disrespectful. It's rude and it's unprofessional, and it's disgusting. I really
Yeah.
can't believe they talked about
I
it.
I didn't expect it from Michael
Me
K.
neither.
Honestly, like over these past like 4 or 5 years or whatever, the climate has been whatever it is that's been in this country, and Michael K. he's been getting beat up by like like the reactionary Yankee fan. So
Yeah,
when Joey Gatto left, I just saw this as a cheap way for him to try to get some cool points at the lunch table. It just felt
yeah.
like to me it wasn't him. It was forced. It was superly forced, and it was just him trying to get some clicks and likes.
Yeah, like we like you said, we've talked about his struggles. We had the episode where I changed my name. I
Yeah.
I jokingly threw my jersey in the garbage, but you know, we we trashed on Joey Gallo respectfully. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
we're like we knew, like you, me, anyone, everyone who like talks about like the Joey Gallo and how he struggled. Don't do it like that. It's just a respect thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's a
Yeah. Shout out to Frank Rivera in the chat. Frank Rivera says Michael Cage showed his true self in that instincts.
mhm.
Not that I've ever been a fan of his. Frankie, you got it. It is disgusting. His
Yeah,
act.
like
Absolutely, Frank. I can't
like
disagree.
we know how he struggled, right? But there's
Hmm.
no need for that to
Hmm.
go out of your way to blatantly just
Yeah.
shit on the guy, literally.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, and Joey Gallo, as much as I hate to say it, he's not very good anymore, obviously, but
Hmm.
he's still 100 times more of an athlete than Michael K has ever been, is, or
Oh,
will ever be. So I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know what his place is to talk about another human being like that. It's just
Yeah.
disgusting, really.
One last thing I'm gonna say, and we can move on, right? When we talk about it, and you agreed with me, he never blamed the fans.
No, he
He
blames.
never said the fans are too much. He never said the media in New York City is too much. He never argued with any of his teammates. He never argued with any of his coaches. I'm not sure if you're into basketball, if you're a Knick fan
A
or
little bit,
anything
yeah.
like that, but I'm a diehard Knick fan, right?
I don't know.
Last year, what Julius Randle did, right? Cursing out the fans, literally telling the fans "F you,"
Mhm.
fighting with teammates, smacking iPads out of his coach's hand. Joey Gallo did nothing of
No,
that.
he was just calm and cool. You know what I mean? I mean, not calm, but he was blaming himself for everything he did wrong. He said it was in his interviews before he
Mhm.
got traded. It was always I messed up, or
Yes,
like I couldn't perform. It was never the
yes,
fans.
yes,
It was always it was my fault, and he was a professional about it. So
yes.
I don't
It
know,
it it
Michael
was
K.
like you said. Every interview he had, he took
Yeah,
accountability.
yeah.
He blamed himself. Everything he said was, "Listen, I grew up a Yankee fan, and this is going to suck. I'm gonna have to remember that I was horrible as a Yankee," which
Hmm.
is true.
Yeah. And
That part of
it's
it is
sad too.
true.
It's really sad, his downfall too, because he was good in Texas. So
Yeah.
and just for him to go to his favorite team as a kid, perform horribly, he failed,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then when you leave to get trashed by the it was kind of like I said, he was kicking a dog while it was down. You-
And let's not forget, Michael K is somewhat the face of the Yankees. So to have the face of the Yankees beat you down like that on your way out,
yeah,
it's yeah. But let's move past that. Don't want to talk about sour grapes like that. But let's look let's look at these lineups from last night, and we'll start off with the Yankees since we lost, right? Frankie, since you've been gone for the past 2 days because you was playing golf, I'll let you start with the lineup, and then I'll read the pitching side of things. Go ahead, baby.
got it.
Hold
All right,
on, here it is.
so DJ LeMahieu, the first baseman, 0 for 5. Judge and Wright went 1 for 3. Benintendi in left went 1 for 5. Josh Donaldson went 0 for 3. Glaber 0 for 5. Miguel Andujar, I'm happy to see him back, 1 for
Hmm.
5. Aaron Hicks 0 for 3. Trevino 0 for 4. Hicks 0 for 4. Wet. So I wasn't able to watch the game last night. It was my buddy's
Mhm.
birthday, so we were out, and I woke up this morning, and I looked at my phone. I saw we had 3 hits. 3 hits. I freaked out. I was like, "Are you kidding? 3 hits in 13 innings. That's just
Oh,
not what
that's because the base running was bad. You didn't see
base
all that
running.
base running yesterday?
Yeah, I saw I saw there was one. Andahar got tied up. Hicks hit like a line drive to second, and he flipped it to the base because I forget who was on second at the time, but
It
he was
was
halfway to
horrible.
third. And then there was the ground ball back to the pitcher that I think it was Andahar just decided to run to third and get in a pickle.
It was horrible. I reference it as, or I compare it as when you're playing MLB The Show and you let one of your little cousins play and they don't know how to run the bases and they're
Yeah,
just stuck going back and forth. That's
yeah,
exactly what it was
that's what it
last
looked
night.
like. Yeah, it looked like. Literally, that's terrible, man.
Yeah, but before I read the pitching side of things, right? What alarms me the most, right?
Mhm.
You brought it up. 3 hits in 13 innings. Luis Castillo was filthy, was dominant, right?
Mhm.
But one thing, the night before, when the Yankees scored all those runs, one thing that was so positive about that game 1 in Seattle, was
Mhm.
Josh Donaldson and Gleyber Torres. In
Mhm.
this game last night, both those players was non-existent. Josh Donaldson was 0 for 3. Gleyber Torres was 0 for 5. We aren't going to win games when you don't have Stanton and Rizzo, and then the rest of your guys that you depend on, Donaldson and Torres, go 0 for 8 combined. You're not going to win many games like that
No chance.
whatsoever. Then you compact it on top of horrible base running. Listen, from the 10th to 13th inning, this was also alarming because of all those blunders on the base paths, just automatically giving a team two. The Yankees only sent 2 to 3 batters to bat between the 10th and the 13th inning because they were hitting into double plays left and right, running into double plays left and right.
God, it's just terrible. And I think I mean I like I said I wasn't watching, but by looking at the stats, it looks like the pitching had probably had their best game as a whole of the year.
Yes.
Like
Yes, that's the thing. I'm about to read off this pitching right now, but Garrett Cole, shout out to Garrett Cole. Take my hat off to him. But Garrett Cole, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts. Aroldis Chapman came in afterwards. Yes, he gave up a hit, but Aroldis Chapman was money. He had a couple pitches that he touched 101 miles an hour, but he pitched the inning. He gave up 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and no strikeouts. Clay Holmes came in. He hit a batter. So you had the leadoff batter get on because he was hit by a pitch. But after that, Clay Holmes got a double play. Clay Holmes got an out, and he pitched the inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Scott Efros, who struggled in his last time out. But Efros, he pitched the inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, and got 1 strikeout. Wandy Peralta, the ageless wonder. Wandy Peralta pitched the inning in the third, gave up no hits, no runs, 1 walk, no strikeouts. Then you got Lou Trevino, who looks super weird without his beard. But Lou Trevino pitched 2/3 of an innings, gave up no hits, no runs, 2 walks, but he did have that monster strikeout to end the inning with the
I
bases
saw
loaded.
that. I did see that. That was
Jonathan Lasagna came in and struggled right off the bat. And once Jonathan Lasagna was coming in, I practically knew the game was over, but he pitched the third of an inning, gave up 2 hits, the winning run, no walks, no strikeouts. The losing pitcher, Jonathan Lasagna, 1-3 on the season. You didn't miss anything, Frankie. You didn't miss anything by not watching that game.
Well, thank God. Thank God.
Oh, give me a second. Give me a second. My dog is doing some dumb stuff.
Got it.
Hank, come here. Because he likes to. I have my mirror on the floor, and he likes to back up into it. And one of these days, the mirror is gonna crush you because you like to back up into the mirror. I'm sorry.
It's really funny. That's funny.
Yeah, let's read off the Mariners side of things. I'll start off with the hitting and then you finish up with the pitching. All right, brother?
Got it.
All right, Papa. Let's see. All right, so the Mariners, hitting wise, Adam Frazier, the second baseman, led it off. He was 1 for 4. Ty France, the first baseman, was 0 for 5. Mitch Haniger was 1 for 4. DH Lamb, the left fielder, was 0 for 4. Eugenio Suarez, the third baseman, was 0 for 5. Connor Riley, the catcher, was 2 for 5. The shortstop, J.P. Crawford, was 0 for 4. Scott Haggerty, the right fielder, was 2 for 3. And the top Mets prospect from back in the days, Jared Kelenic, the center fielder, was 0 for 3. In this lineup, the Mariners were able to muster 6 hits against the Yankees, and the Yankees only got 3 in 13 innings. That's the difference in the game. Go ahead, Frankie.
So Luis Castillo, he threw 8 innings, three hits, no runs, 2 walks, struck out 7. Andres Munoz, that guy, he's electric.
Filthy.
He
Disgusting.
threw 1 inning and struck out the side. Paul Sewald came in, 1 inning, no hits, no runs, no walks. He had a strikeout. Then Festa came in, threw 1 clean inning, no walks, no hits, no strikeouts. And Matt Brash came in. He threw 2 innings, gave up no hits. He walked 2, gave up no runs, and struck out 3.
Yeah, and when you look at the Mariners pitchers, right? They only use 5 pitchers.
We emptied our pen too. We used.
I was just about to say, yeah, we emptied out our pen, and we got a day game later on today at 4:00 in the afternoon. So the Yankees use, let's see, 7 pitchers, while the Mariners use 5 pitchers. So yeah, like you said, we emptied out our pen last night and we lost. So hopefully that doesn't come and bite us in the behind later when we face
Nestor today, right? Nestor. I think Nestor's pitching.
I was just about to double check, Frankie. Let me just double check for that.
I'm pretty sure it's Nestor today.
Let me see. But yeah, I think you are right. And I think Frankie Montas pitches in 2 days.
Gotcha.
Against the Red Sox. Hold on. Yeah, Nestor Cortez is going for the Yankees, and Robbie Ray is going for the Mariners.
Robbie Ray. You see how tight he wears his pants, Robbie Ray?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Looks like a girl.
Robbie Ray wears his pants. I wouldn't say look like a girl. He dresses like a Dominican in Washington Heights. That's what it is. That's what it is. He dresses like one of my Dominican friends in Washington Heights. Yeah.
Pants he's got.
Oh yeah. I don't listen. If I had the body frame to get away with wearing pants like that, I would. But yeah. I'm a bit round around the middle, you understand? So I can't get away with that.
Gotcha.
But overall, right? We started off this series good, right? After losing 5 in a row, getting swept in St. Louis. Started off this series good against the Mariners with the first win Monday, but just bonehead mistakes on the base paths. I will be right back. I just want to play this video from our sponsors again, because for some reason the Yankees don't know how to run the bases, and KOD decided to put a video together to teach the Yankees how to run the bases. So we'll be right back.
All right, Yankees. After last night, it looks like you guys might need to go back to the basics on how to actually run the bases. All I heard was the circus music going. So it's simple. Listen, there's home plate, right? That's where you start. Then there's first, there's second, and then there's third. There's 3 bases, and then you run back home, right? Simple steps. 1, 2, 3. And then home, all right? So listen, when you're at the plate and you hit the ball, you run to first base, right? If you're on base and someone hits and you're at second and you're waiting to see what happens, you don't do a shimmy. Wait a minute, if there's a line drive. What are you doing there, Duhar? Should I go down the list of names? Donaldson, Benintendi? What are you guys doing? It was ridiculous. So enjoy this video here of how to actually run the bases. You hit, you run. You hit, you run. You're on base, you wait. You double steal, you wait till the pitcher is in motion to throw the ball. You don't wait till he's looking around and throw. All right, you know what, Hector? Back to you. Enjoy the basics. Get it together, Yankees.
Now, Frankie, I want to ask you, right? Because out of the two of us, you are the most athletic person in this conversation, right? So
Gotcha.
on your former teams that you used to play on, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a situation like that happened on the base paths, how is your coach reacting? How are your teammates reacting? How are you reacting first and foremost? What's the thought process?
I mean, we're so my coach this for school, he he was kind of we ran a lot. We did a lot of base running, so we didn't really mess up on the base paths. But when we did, like the whole next day at practice would be dedicated just to running. If we had a bad base running day or a bad base running day like the Yankees did last night, the whole practice would just us be running pole to pole and then having to run bases. So yeah, that's our and obviously none of us like that. I would always tell my coach whenever we have a practice like that, only happened like 2 or 3 times, and I was like, Coach, I'm a pitcher. Do I have to do this? He goes, Yeah. You still? I was like, I'm a pitcher now. I don't have to work on that. But yeah,
Hey,
yeah, it's
everybody has to know how to run the bases because you never know when you're going to be the next pinch runner.
yeah. I don't think they want me pinch running anytime soon. Not the
But
fact.
I don't think the Yankees you know, hopefully Aaron Boone does something about those base because it was Benintendi. At first, let me bring it back so we could start in the 10th. So
Yeah.
Benintendi was at second. Josh Donaldson got hit, so that he was at first base. They pinch ran. What's the guy off the bench? Jesus Christ.
LaCastro?
Timmy LaCastro. I just had a brain fart. They pinch run LaCastro for Donaldson. So it was a double steal, right? Double steal went. Andrew Benintendi just went a bit too. He went faster when he was supposed to, and the pitcher caught him in the middle of it. So now you got a runner on second with just one out. Yankees weren't able to score. Next inning, now you got a runner on first. You got a runner on second, which is Miguel Andujar. Miguel Andujar is on second base. A liner goes right to second base. Miguel Andujar freezes, doesn't go back. It's a double play. Yankees doesn't score right there. Then IKF comes up to bat with a runner on second base, hits it up the middle. The pitcher catches it. A fantastic play behind his back. It was one of those 1 in a million plays. ESPN go. It was a beautiful play. Catches it. Catches Jose Trevino in a rundown between second and third. Now this is where I get a little bit upset. Jose Trevino's in that rundown. He's not fast. Why is IKF trying to stretch it from first to second and gets thrown out again for another double play?
Just terrible base running. It's just that's just not good baseball. It's just not good baseball, and you don't really see that bad of base running from an MLB team, especially the caliber of the Yankees. So it was kind of weird to see them run the base like that. It was just teams like that don't make mistakes like they did last night.
No, if you're trying to compete for a championship, those type of mistakes, you can't afford those. No, because it takes away whatever momentum you build winning that first game. You win that first game, your momentum, you're running high. You just had a team meeting after getting swept in St. Louis. You just broke a 5-game winning streak. Everything is good. The team is running on cylinders. Then you get a buzzsaw, Luis Castillo, which is pitching phenomenal. 8 shutout innings. You can't say anything else about that. But then the base running. And then the base running. And if the Yankees lose to the Yankees lose today, we're right back where we were right when we got swept in St. Louis.
Yep. So I think today's a must win. We have to win today.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they haven't released anything when it comes to lineup or anything like that.
They usually release it about 4 hours before the game, so it'll come up shortly.
It'll probably come out like right when we end the stream.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me just double check just to make sure. But no lineup is out yet. Just the pitching. One thing I could say is when it comes to these injuries, now, do you think Anthony Rizzo starts today, or do you think they're gonna save him for Boston?
I mean, I want to see him in the lineup for sure, but I'm not totally sure. If I'm not really up to date. I haven't really been watching the past 2 or 3 days, so I don't know how bad his back condition is. But I think he was available last night, if I'm not wrong. I think I saw that on Twitter that he was available off the bench. So maybe it means he's ready to start today, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah, they said that he may be available to pinch hit late in the game. They never used him,
Yeah.
I'm not hoping that Anthony Rizzo is going to be in the lineup. I think they'll just be precautious, save him for when they go to Boston because they have a day off tomorrow, right? There's no game tomorrow before they head against Boston into Boston. So he'll probably have a day off, probably be back in Boston, just like with Giancarlo Stanton will be back playing Boston, hopefully, knock on wood.
Hope so. We need those two guys back.
Yeah.
They're cornerstones. They're a 3 and 4 hitter. I mean, when you're missing your 3 and 4 hitter, it's really tough to win, especially when you're facing a pitcher like Luis Castillo.
And not just that, right? When you look at yes, Luis Castillo, where it hurts not having those big two bats in the lineup, but it just hurts, period, because if you're a pitcher, right, if you're an opposing team and you got Aaron, you're going to navigate that lineup. When Aaron Judge comes, you're going to walk him. You're not going to want to face Aaron Judge. And besides Aaron Judge, no Rizzo, no Stanton. Who are you scared of in that lineup? You scared of Donaldson?
No, scared of DJ, I guess. I guess DJ is like the only other guy. There's some. I mean, I don't even think they're that scared of him.
Yeah, and even with DJ's batting before Judge, so you're not going. You're going to try to do everything you can to get him.
Judge has no line of protection without those two.
Nope. No line of protection at all. Yeah, we had a good game from Josh Donaldson a couple of days ago. He had a home run, 4 for 5. But that's the thing with Donaldson. He'll go 4 for 5, 3 for 5. He'll get 3 hits in the game. Then he'll go 0 for 20 the next 20 at bats.
Yeah, just the way he is. He's had his moments like the other night. He's really streaky, but for a season as a whole, he's not playing well. Not at all. Not happy with Donaldson.
No, something has to happen this offseason, whether it's Donaldson, whether it's Aaron Hicks, whether it's IKF. Those 3 players, I don't think will be back with this team next year.
Hope not. Really
maybe IKF because of his versatility, how he could play the infield, third base, shortstop, second.
I think they'll keep IKF just for like a utility guy. But I mean, I think it's time to move on from Hicks.
Yeah,
it's just time to move on.
It's the relationship. It's not getting any better. Yankee fans are they're sour when it comes to him. It's not getting anything. Hopefully Harrison Bader comes back in September. He's apparently going to start doing baseball activities within these next few days. So knock on wood, hopefully he comes back and he's healthy. That way we could get rid of Hicks and just be done with that part of Yankee history with Aaron Hicks. Be gone. I got a question in the chat. My man Frank Rivera, I'll leave this for you, Frankie. He said, lately I see a lot of teams making fundamental mistakes. Do teams even practice fundamentals anymore? Or are they too busy with the way they look? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that I don't know, there's not really practice for them. You know what I mean? They take BP and then they have optional fly balls and fielding if you want. You know what I mean? They're because when you're at that level, you kind of have to know the fundamental stuff. Like that's what the minor leagues is for, to shape you. And then when you get up there, that's when you just say forget about practice. That's what the minor leagues was for. And that's when you actually have to go up and perform in the big league. So I don't think it's them just not practicing fundamentals. It's just major league culture that you just don't really practice. You take some BP, you take a couple fly balls, a couple ground balls before the game, and that's it. That's what they do.
And you said it perfectly. It's BP, it's fly balls, and it's infield drills. No base running drills. No, run trying to get caught in a rundown so the guy from third can score, or the guy can move from first to second. Those aren't plays that they practice normally. Maybe in spring training, but during the season, like you said, Frankie, is non-existent, right?
I mean, no, it's not. I mean, the thing is, in the regular season, during the season, playoffs, whatever, that's when you're expected to perform. You know what I mean? That's when you're supposed to execute the fundamentals and, kind of clear everything up from the minor leagues. You get up to the big leagues, that's when it's all cleared up and you're expected to know the fundamentals. And and you kind of you should have the fundamentals down by the time you're in the big leagues.
Mhm.
So I think it was just a kind of like a blip in the radar, kind of a brain fart for the whole team last night on the bases. You
No,
know, but
absolutely. So hopefully going forward, this is something that they have another team meeting about,
yeah,
because you can't give up outs, regardless if it's, on the base paths, giving extra outs. You can't do that in Major League
yeah,
Baseball and expect to
yeah.
win games or expect to be competitive or expect to even make the playoffs. You just can't.
Nope, not at
No.
all.
I just want to give a quick rundown real quick of the standings and the records.
Got
Right now, the Yankees are 71-40. We have a 10.5 lead on the Toronto Blue Jays in our division. So we're comfortable. Yes, we've been struggling, but we still got a double-digit lead in the division, right?
Mhm.
Against against Tampa, it's 12, and against Baltimore, it's 12.5. It's crazy. You see Baltimore coming up. Baltimore is 58-52 on the season. They have one loss more than the Tampa Bay Rays. So they literally have the identical record as the Tampa Bay Rays. That's crazy, Frankie. What's your thoughts real quick on Baltimore?
I love Baltimore. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
They're my favorite. They're probably my second favorite team. July 4th, two of my buddies went up to Baltimore to go watch.
Camden Yards, nice.
Yeah, Camden Yards, and he picked me up an Adley Rutschman T-shirt.
Nice.
And so I haven't seen him. Last night was the first time I saw him, and I finally got my T-shirt yesterday. A month and a half after I got it from him.
Nice. Listen, Adley Rutschman since the All-Star break is hitting 353.
He's a beast. He is a.
He
beast.
is.
I love Adley Rutschman.
And then also too, quick tip, for everybody, if you're trying to get cheap baseball tickets or you're trying to watch the Yankees cheap, Baltimore is not that far from New York City, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at tickets for the Yankees versus Baltimore the last time they played. I couldn't make it to Baltimore. But Frankie, behind the visitors' dugout, right, where the Yankees play, to that left-hand side, that's literally right there. How much do you think those tickets are in Baltimore?
I'm gonna say $210.
And Yankee Stadium, those tickets are like $800 to $1,200. Yeah. And Baltimore, it was $175.
Oh my
God. $175.
And obviously ticket prices go up the better teams that are playing there. Mm-hmm. So I can't imagine. Those prices must have went up when they were playing the Yankees.
Behind home plate was $200.
Yeah, my friends that went up on July 4th sat behind home plate for $175.
Bingo.
I was like, dude, I don't want to go, but I was like, dude, if I knew you were getting $100 tickets to sit 3 rows back, I would have came.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
I think I'll be planning that for next year. You're more than welcome to come. Games we'll go play. We'll go to watch the Yankees in Baltimore because it's a lot cheaper than Yankee Stadium.
Oh yeah. We went up to Baltimore a couple of years ago for a doubleheader, and,
nice.
and I think our tickets were under $100, and we were sitting in like the 200s for like $90, and that was when that was when they were like horrendous. I think it was 2019. So like I don't know, they were horrendous, and we were sitting next to a season ticket holder. And I just felt so bad for him. He was in his 60s. He said he goes to every home game. He knew all the staff, and they actually won. I think they won the first game, and he was
oh my god,
me. He was making fun of me, and then the Yankees won the second game like 8-2, and I was like, yeah, what happened there?
Listen, you gotta love it, right? Baltimore, St. Louis, those are historic baseball towns, right? Those are historic baseball fans, very knowledgeable fans, very respectful fans on top of it as well.
I mean, yeah. It was the Baltimore fans are definitely not like New York fans. I'll tell you that much. They're not New York fans, not at all.
Definitely. Salute my guy. I want a quick second. Salute the chat. Salute my guy, Nice Delo Mio. Salute. And also my guy, Worldwide Al, Mayberry. What is good? But yeah, let me finish reading off the standings. And the AL Central, right, Frankie? We got the Cleveland Guardians and the Minnesota Twins are tied for first place. What's your thoughts on the Guardians and the Twins? Both for 57 and 52.
I'm loving the Guardians. That's really cool. I mean, they're kind of in a rebuild stage, so it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool to see them. And it's funny that Baltimore would be first in that division,
Yeah,
and Baltimore's fourth in ours. Like that's crazy.
that's crazy to think
That's just
about it.
how,
Baltimore will be
that's just how good our
first.
division is. That's just how good our division is.
Mm-hmm. And then
I
also too, with my fault, with their struggles, the Chicago White Sox are a game and a half behind them. They're right
Yeah,
there.
they are right there. So I mean, yeah, it's really cool to see teams like the Guardians and Baltimore winning because
Mm,
you know they're historically like not the best teams. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Mm,
And they both were projected to not be that great this year anyway. So it's kind of cool to
mm.
see them kind of playing well.
100%, 100%. Now, if I read off real quick,
Yeah.
before I read it, I'll go to the AL West. You got
Mhm.
Houston with the same record with like the Yankees, 71-40, and then Seattle, 60-52. So when you look at the wild card standings,
Mhm.
Toronto's number one, Seattle's number two, Tampa Bay is number three, Baltimore is literally a game and a half behind Tampa. Cleveland and Minnesota, they're tied for first place in their division, so they have them here in the wild card standing. That's very weird. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but regardless. But this wild card chase is very interesting, Frankie. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts on this wild card?
It's going to be fun to watch the American League wild card going down the stretch because, like you said, there's a lot of similar teams going
Mm-hmm.
for it. Like the Baltimore and God, why can't I think of the team? Baltimore and Cleveland are really similar.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
and they're kind of similar to Seattle as well. So there's a lot. It's like similar close teams pushing
Mm-hmm.
for that race. So it's gonna be it's gonna be fun to watch on the stretch.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, 100%.
I'm just happy Boston's nowhere to be found in those standings.
Yeah,
Happy to
yeah.
see.
I got my binoculars on looking for Boston. I can't see him nowhere.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
see you.
Yeah,
what
what a
what's
collapse they had.
what's
Jeez.
your thoughts over the weekend? I'm not sure if you saw it, Frankie, but Framil Reyes for the Cleveland
Yeah,
Guardians.
he got
He got
DFA'd. He got
DFA'd.
Cubs. That's weird. I
That's
mean, he wasn't
very.
having a good year, but he's still a beast, man. He's a
He
tank.
had 38, 39 home runs last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's a beast. I don't get it. I mean, they probably could have they probably could have waited for if they wanted to get rid of him, they probably should have traded him. You could have got a lot back for him.
Yeah, it is. It's not like Framil Reyes was making a lot of money as well, so it wasn't a.
I,
I don't know.
I was really surprised by that.
Yeah, hold on.
That really made no sense to me.
I'm trying to look up his stats real quick. Framil Reyes, his stats for the season. I knew he was having a bad year, but I didn't think Cleveland would DFA him. So with Cleveland this year, he was batting 213, 9 home runs, 29 RBIs, and 267 plate appearances. He struck out 105 times. So maybe, but last year, when you look at his numbers from last year, he hit 254 last year with 30 home runs. So he's a low average, high home run hitter. That's what he has been in his career. Let's see, his best year in 2019, he was 240. He hit 249 with 37 home runs. The next year, 255 with 27 home runs. So that's just the type of hitter he is.
Yeah, I mean, that was really surprising. That like you said, he wasn't having a good year, but 270 plate appearances. That's not even that big of a sample size. To
No.
to just DFA one of your one of your better hitters over the past 3 or 4 years.
And like Mazza said in the chat, plus he's young. Let's see, when
Yeah,
he just turned 27, July 7th. So he was 26 to start this season.
that was a big pickup by the Cubs because he's young and he's shown that he can be a pretty good player at the major league level. So
Hopefully the Cubs get something out of him.
yeah, for sure. He's
Especially going forward.
He's a really good baseball player, and it was weird.
He needs the opportunity. Honestly, if you ask me, he's a power hitter. Like you said, he may be coming back off an injury last year. Look, he has controllable years, so I don't know. It's very weird. Would you have liked the Yankees to like sniff around to see if they could have because it was Monday we
Oh
lost
yeah.
Matt Carpenter for the rest of the season.
Oh
I think
yeah.
that's what we should talk about for the rest of the
I would
show.
have I would have loved to try and pick him up. I mean, that would have been awesome. I mean, we need another outfielder. You know what I mean? Need a DH to fill in for Stanton while he's out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And to kind of be a stopgap until Bader comes back. We needed a guy to do that. So it would have been great to pick him up, but that was definitely surprising.
Read the chat real quick. Frank Rivera, I like how you guys cover all of baseball, not just the Yankees. Show you guys really know your stuff. Listen, we may be diehard Yankee fans, right? But my man Frankie, he won a Cy Young back in the day. He don't want to let you guys know that. He used to pitch under another name back in the day in the 50s and 60s. He don't want to let you know his full talent. But yeah, we cover all. We don't want to be just an echo chamber for Yankee fans, right, Frankie?
Yeah. No, sir. Just love all baseball. You know what I mean? I love talking about it, so it's cool.
Now let's segue, to the team that's in Queens, right? I know because I know we're Yankee fans, but let's talk about the Mets for real quick.
They're good.
Normally, we got to take our hat off, give credit to the Mets.
Oh yeah,
give credit to the Mets of what they're doing. They got the second best record in all of baseball, right? But one thing I could say is normally, if you guys been following the Mets for years past, or if you guys know Met fans, you guys know around this time after the All-Star break is when the Mets start to fizzle out. They always start the season good, but they always fizzle out towards the end. What do you think it is? Do you think it's Steve Cohen? Do you think it's just the extra addition of Matt Scherzer? What do you accredit that to? Is it Buck Showalter? What do you think, Frankie?
I think they just have such a better team now than they did last year, than they have in years past. They are really, really good. And excuse me, baseball's good when New York baseball teams are good. Like baseball runs through New York now. Not LA, not California. Baseball runs through New York.
100%. And I've said it.
I have a lot of buddies who are Mets fans. Like I don't know if I've mentioned it to you. My grandma is a diehard Mets fan.
Oh, my mother's the same way.
And everyone always expects like Yankees Mets rivalry. I love the Mets as a Yankee fan. I love the Mets. Really, I really, really do. And I'm happy they're good. I'm happy they're not fizzling out. And hopefully we can have another Subway Series.
Now I want to ask you this, Frankie, right? Because I was thinking about this last night when I was figuring out what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Say, God forbid, whatever happens, the Yankees are eliminated in the ALCS by Houston. You got the New York Mets and the Houston Astros in the World Series. Are you watching it? Are you rooting for anyone? What's your mind frame?
Mets all day. Mets all day. If the Mets are in the World Series, I don't care who they're playing, unless it's us. If we don't make it and they do, I'm rooting for the Mets. I don't care who they're playing. I'm rooting for the Mets, unless they're playing the Yankees. Like, I know it's this crosstown rivalry thing, whatever. And my grandma and all my friends who are Mets fans like talk crap, and I'm like I don't care. Good for you guys. You guys are good. I love you guys are good. I'm not talking crap to you. Don't talk crap to me. Like I'm happy you guys are good. Like, give me a break.
Listen, if it's like Michael Mazza said, Mets over Houston all day. If it's the Mets and the Astros in the World Series, you may see me with an orange and blue hat on. But if it's any other team besides us, I'm not too sure I'll be rooting for the Mets, right? Because I'm a diehard Yankee fan. I got family, my moms, my uncles, my cousins. I'm the only Yankee fan in my family, right? So I don't think I could be caught rooting for the Mets unless it's the Houston Astros or the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox are trash. I don't got to worry about them this year.
They're so bad.
But if it's the Mets and the Astros, I think I'm going to join you, Frankie, and wear that orange and blue just to root against the Astros.
For sure. Hey, they're really good. I was talking to my grandma the other day, and she said this is the best Mets team she can remember, like for a while. So hopefully we see them in the World Series.
Yeah, hopefully. I growing up, right? Yeah, I grew up a Yankee fan, but another team that I had to my heart that I always used to root for on the low whenever I used to play like MVP baseball or MLB 2K, any of those games, was the Chicago Cubs, right?
Really?
So when it was the Mets and the Cubs in the World Series, I was rooting for the Cubs because yes, I grew up a Yankee fan, but I always had that love affection and that pull towards the Chicago Cubs and always
My
wanting to see the Chicago Cubs win.
my dad's the same way. His oh my God. He has a Cubs hat that he wears around all the time.
Yeah, I had a Cubs hat that I used to wear too all the
Is it
time.
red? Is it red? He had
No.
the
I
red-
had the blue. This is funny. Make sure you tell your pops this.
Yeah.
But the reason why I used to wear a Cubs hat back in the day, I'm not sure if you remember this, but there was a movie called Tremors that came out, and one of the main characters from it was some gun nut that was a diehard Chicago Cubs fan. So I always grew up loving the Yankees, but Tremors was one of my favorite movies and rooting for the Cubs only because of that guy in the movie.
That's cool. That's funny. Yeah, we would be somewhere like that's not a Yankee game, and I always wear like a Yankee hat, or whether it's Yankee hat or like this T-shirt or a jersey. I always wear something Yankees out, and then you'll see me. And then you'll see me with my Yankee hat or my Yankee shirt, and there'll be my dad with his Cubs hat. I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? Like, put some Yankee stuff on, bro. You're in New York. Like, come on.
Absolutely. My man Frank Rivera, he said the Mets adding Showalter was big signing. Got rid of stench of having Brody Van Wagenen, who was a horrible GM, and players like Yoenis Cespedes. Best thing they did was not sign Javi Baez.
Yeah.
I absolutely 100% agree with you.
Absolutely.
They had to get rid of Brody Van Wagenen, and now looking back at that trade, thank you for bringing that up, Frank. I totally appreciate that, because let's deep dive into that comment. When you look at that trade, right? Edwin Diaz, Robinson Cano, you gave up Kelnick, who's in Seattle, Matt Dunn, who's pitching with the Cincinnati Reds now, not even with Seattle. I think the Mets ultimately won that trade, especially with the year that Edwin Diaz is having.
Edwin Diaz is probably the best. I think he's the best reliever in baseball.
Yeah,
and he has a little off topic. He has the coolest
he has the best entrance
best
ever.
entrance.
Yeah.
They I don't know if it's better than Enter Sandman though. Maybe that's some
bias. Listen, I'm a Yankee fan, but I say that song Edwin Diaz comes into is better than Enter Sandman. I'm sorry.
Man. It's kind of on the edge for me, but it's really cool. Like if I don't know if I somehow magically play
DiCaprio said nah.
I don't know, man.
Listen, DiCaprio, I'm so sorry. DiCaprio's a Astros fan. I apologize, DiCaprio.
It's funny. Yeah, if I ever somehow play professional baseball, and I come out of the bullpen, that's my song. That is my song. I'm like walking out too.
Hey, DiCaprio, you got it, baby. Listen, you got it. You got it. The Astros are the Yankees' daddy right now. Listen, that's one thing I could say, and I brought this up last time we talked, DiCaprio. If the Yankees don't make it past the Astros, I don't care about winning a World Series. Like, we have to exercise our demons by beating the Astros. And I'll say this like that. Hopefully, Jose Altuve got his buzzers upgraded. Hopefully, the new iOS system, he got the new system update for it.
yeah, maybe, right? Jeez.
And yes, I'm gonna keep going back to that corny buzzer joke. Yes, I'm gonna keep going back to it. Oh man, he said I didn't even talk about the Stros, but Enter Sandman is the greatest intro ever for a reliever. No, I was just bringing him up because I know you're a Stro fan. But I love Enter Sandman, right? But that horn from Edwin Diaz, I'm not sure it's because I went to band, like I was a band kid growing up. I was in an art school, so I played the trombone and the baritone. I'm not sure if it's because of that why I love Edwin Diaz's entrance, but it's badass, bro.
It is badass. Like it's cool.
Yeah, it's 100% badass. Frankie, what's your predictions before we dip out? So the Yankees play later on today at 4:00 in the afternoon. What's your predictions for later? We have Nestor Cortez on the mound. Let me get the starting pitcher for.
They got Robbie Ray.
Robbie Ray, yeah. I forgot I mentioned that already. Yeah, Robbie. So they got Robbie Ray versus Nestor Cortez. What's your thoughts?
We're gonna get the series win today. We're gonna pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Nestor's going to pitch 4 2/3 innings, 2 runs. Robbie Ray is going to pitch 7 innings, give up 3 runs. And the final score will be 4-3. That's my prediction.
4-3. Anybody hitting a home run today? Any reverse home run? Anything?
I know. For me, I gotta say who's not hitting a home run, then they'll hit a home run. So, I've been off. I haven't got one since Sunday, so I think I'm due.
Well, you haven't been here since Friday, so
Yeah.
you get a pass with that. You know,
I've been off with my predictions. Haven't hit one in a couple days. So who's not hitting one? I have a feeling that Judge will not hit one today. I'm going with that. Judge will not hit one.
Copy. So that means Judge will. My man DiCaprio says Judge is going yard today. I feel it in my gut. Hopefully, I want to give a quick shout out. Molly, salute Molly. Hope all is well. Glad that you joined us. And DiCaprio as well. Appreciate you, DiCaprio. But we're gonna leave right here. It's 12:05. The Yankees play later on at 4. My dog is scratching the door. That's why I gotta leave right now. But I just want to let everybody know. Listen, if you guys are free tomorrow, Thursday at 12 o'clock, and you guys want to jump on the panel and talk baseball with me and Frankie, you're more than welcome to. We'll be putting that out tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I would do it now, but my dog is giving me the side eye, and he made peace somewhere in my room, and I don't want that right now in my house. But Frankie, any closing thoughts for the people before we dip out?
None from me. Nothing from me.
Copy. Well, I'm your guy, Project Nerd HQ, Hector, host of the Yankees Morning Brew. This guy right here is Frankie, my co-host. We will be back Thursday tomorrow. Hopefully the Yankees win it all, right, Frankie?
Hopefully we're recapping a win tomorrow. We'll see.
Copy. Peace to everybody's in the chat. Peace, love guys. You guys. Later.
Bye.
And I'm not sure if you guys know, the Doritos put out some nasty chips today. Ketchup and mustard chips. Dorito, what are you doing? Ugh.
All right, Yankees. After last night, it looks like you guys might need to go back to the basics on how to actually run the bases. All I heard was the circus music going. So it's simple. Listen, there's home plate, right? That's where you start. Then there's first. There's second. And then there's third. There's 3 bases. And then you run back home, right? Simple steps. 1, 2, 3, and then home. All right. So listen, when you're at the plate and you hit the ball, you run to first base, right? If you're on base and someone hits and you're at second and you're waiting to see what happens, you don't do a shimmy. Wait a minute, if there's a line drive. What are you doing then, Duhar? Should I go down the list of names? Donaldson, Benintendi? What are you guys doing? It was ridiculous. So enjoy this video here of how to actually run the bases. You hit, you run. You hit, you run. You're on base, you wait. You double steal, you wait till the pitcher is in motion to throw the ball. You don't wait till he's looking around and